Sir, here is a check with my name on it. Write down any number on this piece of paper and I will pay it.
So we are now only 2 days away from the biggest day of the Duel Links calendar, the release of the new world. Now the other day I released a video showcasing the Melodious art type, just before the new world releases, as we know it's going to be one of the main decks we're going to be getting new support for from the new world. And as you guys seem to really enjoy that one, and I'll leave a little link up there to that video for those interested, I decided why not make another video on one of the other main art types you're going to be receiving support for, Superheavy Samurai, which, as we know from various leaked cards and of course the new trailer, we are not only getting new card support, but an entire character, and potentially new skills dedicated to the archetype. To be fair though, I'm not really convinced on how supportive the new leaked cards are going to be. Probably be about as supportive as the average support I get on my League of Legends teams.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Anyway, without further ado, here's the deck list. Now just before I go through it, just a reminder that if you are enjoying any of the content you are watching or find any of the content useful, to please leave a like on the video down below and consider subscribing to the channel whilst you're down there. I'm ridiculously close to 50k now, so I'd really appreciate the support, especially if you've seen multiple of my videos now and still haven't subbed. Come on guys, do me a solid. Alright, so just like last video, the purpose of this video is to showcase the art type before the new world releases, for those of you that just want to see how this deck functions. It's not to show you guys the next top tier meta breaking contender. Although Superheavy Samurai has always been quite a decent deck, even topping quite a few tournaments here and there. And lucky for you guys, it's also known to be extremely easy to budget for. So the list I'm showing you right now is designed to be extremely free to play friendly. Sure, you can upgrade it if you have a few more copies of the SRs and Ultras in the art type, but you definitely do not need to for this deck to function really well, as you'll see from the gameplays later in the video. Now I'm going to be completely honest here, there are probably a lot of you guys, if not the majority of you, that already know what just about every single card in this deck does, as this deck is definitely way more popular of an art type than Melodious was, especially a few years ago. So I won't be going through each and every card individually, but don't worry, if you are new to the deck, I'll still cover the combos and stuff during the commentary over the gameplay. Alright guys, that'll be it for the decklist portion of the video. The rest of the video will be gameplay with commentary showcasing all the combos in action. Remember, if you are enjoying the content or wish to see more, to please drop a like on the video down below and consider subscribing to the channel whilst you're down there. Enjoy the gameplay. Alright, let's get into it. So as you can see, this deck list went 7 wins and 2 losses on the ladder, which is pretty good. It's nothing too spectacular or meta-breaking, dominating deck list or something, but it does show that Superheavy Samurai does still compete fairly well on the ladder today. Especially considering this is a free-to-play variant of the deck. The whole purpose of this isn't to show some top tier meta breaking deck anyway, it's to show you guys a deck that's coming out with new support soon for the new world, for guys that want to get hyped about it and be able to have a deck ready for when the new support comes. This is something you might want to look into, as it's just really cheap. This is literally just 1 box rotation only. Alright, let's get into the gameplay. So I think the first replay was versus a Lunar Line player. So for those of you that are kind of new to Superheavy Samurai and don't really know what the art type's about, you need to know 2 things. First of all, basically all the effects in this deck only activate when you have no spell and trap cards in your graveyard, hence we're not running any spell and trap cards. And 2, a lot of your monsters can attack whilst in defense position, and that's kind of the gimmick of the deck. Alright, so our starting hand was pretty rubbish. We had 2 Kiteroid, so at least we're safe, but it's pretty rubbish. So we're just going to set the Soulpiercer, hope he swings into it, so when he gets sent to the graveyard, we get a search. Could have been a worse hand, I guess. At least we had some Kiteroid to protect ourselves. Alright, our opponent summons a Cat Dancer, gets out 2 level 4s, summons Malevolent Sin, banishes our boy, but thankfully, we got double Kiteroid, so we're safe. Alright, so we do a cool little combo here. We're going to summon the Flutist then contribute itself to special summon from hand, and when it does so, we're going to make sure to equip the Soulpiercer to it first, because if we do that, then when it goes to the graveyard, we get a search as well. Of course, searching for a Trumpeter, so we can special summon it, which is the tuner monster. Make Stealth Ninja, which is your main boss of the deck. can activate Stealth Ninja's effect so it can attack directly whilst in defense position. Hit him for a fat little bit of damage, just a little bit of chip damage. Now, we did activate Defense Charge here, which... Okay, so this is a little bit... I'm not sure if this is a bug or intended, but for some reason, when I find the skill... Hello? Where'd it go? There we go, I'm gonna find the skill. It says, target one face of monster control, it gains 200 attack, 200 defense, until the end of the turn. Until the end of the turn. It's currently my opponent's turn, and I still have the defense buff. So I don't really know what's going on there, but yeah, that's the reason I activated the skill mostly, is because I want enough defense on this that just in case he summons something big, maybe it would have enough defense to survive it. Probably not. If he summons the big Lunar Light, we're probably doomed. But yeah, I don't really know what's going on with this skill. I think it's just bugged. Either way. He summons another Cat Dancer. Didn't read card effects, so as you'll see in a second, he tries to reduce my attack to 0, which is like, oh no, not my 0 attack on my 3400 defense monster. Then tries to use Malevolent Sin straight into a Flutist, which we just banish from the grave to negate the effect. And he concedes instantly. Which, by the way, for those of you that don't know, that's the main purpose of Flutist. When Flutist is in the graveyard, you can banish it to negate targeting effects on your Superheavy Samurai monsters. The game wasn't even over there, you could have kept playing. Like, I don't know. Maybe he just conceded out of pure shame. Alright, game 2. I reckon this was against a Blue Eyes player, which is generally a nasty counter to this deck actually, because if you've got Spirit on the board, it makes it really hard to play the game, as they can just negate any of your graveyard effects, which is what most of this deck is about. Alright, so of course, we're just going to set Gigagloves. We're not going to go into any Synchro plays turn 1, as the Synchro monsters, although having some defense, since this card when it's destroyed can resummon itself during, or destroyed by card effect, can resummon itself during the next standby phase, it's probably not the best to try to, you know, rely on the 2800 defense monster to... I guess I could have buffed it to a bit more, but it's probably not best to rely on it, especially when we can just set our Gigagloves and just chill. Since Gigagloves does offer us a ton of defense. For those of you that don't know what Gigagloves does, whenever your opponent swings into you and attacks you directly, you can banish it from your graveyard, reduce your opponent's monster attack to 0, and it does some excavating and some other stuff as well. Alright, so we're gonna summon our Gigagloves, special summon our Trumpeter, go into Swordmaster. Swordmaster can add back the Trumpeter. It also activates the this dude when it's the graveyard. Trumpeter, special summon. Go into Stealth Ninja. Then we're going to turn the other one face up and do the exact same thing again. So we've got double Stealth Ninja on board. As well as we've reordered the top of our decks multiple times. And the other cool thing about what we did here was, because we're pretty certain that the 2 back row cards he's got here are negates, we managed to chain block him. So, because I think that I'm pretty certain they're both negates at this point, I made sure to not activate any monster effects unless I could chain block him. So basically, when I summoned my Swordmaster and used my Swordmaster's effect, I made sure to chain the Gigagloves to it. This meant that if he did activate a negate, it would have to negate this. He couldn't activate the Swordmaster, adding the card to hand. Which was pretty good, because then, obviously better to hand, we can make the 2 Stealth Ninjas, and I do not want to activate their effects, because I'm still pretty certain these are negates. But we have lethal anyway, because obviously this thing has 0 attack. And we're going to equip our Swordshield to our monster, make it 4000 attack, or defense, and he's dead. It's a nice little chain block there. Alright. Alright, this is a Thunder Dragon matchup. Now, Thunder Dragon is a very interesting matchup for this deck, because Although Thunder Dragon is a really strong deck, it relies extremely heavily on hand traps. More in particular, or more specifically, Sphere Karibo and that dinosaur card that can just special summon itself as a little block. Sphere Karibo, it changes your opponent's monsters to defense position. Our monsters like being in defense position, so we don't care about it. The other card, which just special summons itself, we can attack directly, so we can just ignore it. So in this case, unless our opponent summons a Bowser turn 1, which this guy didn't, if he's relying on Sphere Karibos to survive or other hand traps, it's not going to do anything. So he had one card in hand here that could have been a Sphere Karibo, and probably was. So we're going to summon our Wagon. Wagon change its battle position to search for a card. Equip the Soulpiercer. Equip the other soul piercing thing, Peacemaker. Peacemaker Tribute, sending that card to the graveyard, special summoning monsters to board, and then obviously activating our Soulpiercer because it went to grave. Special summon the Trumpeter, go into our Stealth Ninja, equip it with our Shield Wall, then we're going to equip it with our Soulhorns, which allows us to attack twice with the attack buff. 2600, we've activated his card's effect so we can attack directly, and even if he has a Karibo, it doesn't matter, he's just dead. So very interesting little matchup here. You can ignore hand traps completely. Well, most of them. In Thunder Dragon, that seems to be the two hand traps they run like meta-wise at the moment. So, unless they're running standard Karibos or that Arcana Force card. Alright. Forget what this guy was playing. Either way, I'm going to summon Wagon, change battle position, get a search. Equip with Soulpiercer, Tribute. Special summon our Gigagloves for defense. Again, not going to do any synchro summoning here because we're not going to just let our opponent destroy our monster for free. Alright, same combos as before, Swordmaster, add back our Trumpeter to synchro summon one time higher. And equip with the Shield Wall, and beat our opponent to death a little bit. And we have a Trumpeter engraved, so we're protected from any destruction effect, or any targeting effects. Our opponent activates Lightning Vortex on our monster. I feel like he just didn't know what this card does, or our boss monster does, but as you'll see, it's not the last time we're going to see Stealth Ninja. He summons the Crab, which is actually kind of annoying in this situation, because this card keeps swapping its attack and defense, so if we reduce its attack to 0, it's just going to keep swapping it, so I didn't even bother activating it, I just used Kiteroid. But as our card was destroyed by a card effect and not by battle, we can now special summon it back during the next standby phase. Activate defense charge, he activates Survival's End. In fact, he had 2 Survival's Ends, as you'll see. Destroys one of our monsters. Then uses Survival's End again to destroy the other one, which we've got a targeting negate here, so we just don't care. And we beat over his monster, so it can't kill us when our defense goes back to normal. Alright, there's a lot of shit here. This guy tried really hard. His deck is actually really cool. I love dinosaurs. It's actually a cool archetype. At least in Duel Links, anyway. So he summons Malevolent Sin to banish our monster. Then he's gonna banish some more cards to summon a Block Dragon. And pass the turn. Probably because he's scared shitless of Gigagloves, I imagine. Especially considering we still have 2 of them and a Kiteroid engraved. We are omega safe. But our guy comes back, so we can just keep beating our opponent to death. Tries to swing him with his 7 attack Kai. Of course, we have Shield Wall equipped, so we can just get rid of that, which will stop our opponent's attack, but it will make our defense go back to 0. But that doesn't matter in this case, because Stealth Ninja adjusts its own defense, meaning it can just return it back to its original. He's once again going to send a Survival's End to protect him from dying, but we don't care about that. Our guy keeps reviving. Synchro's out on Imaru. Micheliosaurus, I have you pronounce that, is then going to summon a 11,000 attack monster from deck. But yeah, now he has to swing through all the Gigagloves, which is going to keep giving us a couple of cards. He doesn't even bother swinging again. At this point, this game was hella over. He literally can't swing in. So at this point, he's trying to deck us out or something. I don't know what he was hoping for, because we can just hit directly. So we summon another Stealth Ninja, activate the effect, and he's dead. Good try though, and really interesting 11,000 attack Tyranno. Alright, final replay. Alright, so I forgot what this guy was playing too. I don't think he was playing Harpy though. Oh, it's Amazonas, that's what he was playing. Alright. So because we've got, like I said, normally we don't want to try to go into Synchro's turn 1 as if they have some kind of removal or banish or, I don't know, just like really annoying. You don't want to have us just your Synchro get removed for nothing. So normally that's the case, but in this case we don't have Kiteroid, we don't have whatchamacallit, gloves on board. We've got absolutely nothing. We could just set a Soulpiercer and hope we don't die, but that's not very safe. So we're just going to summon a big ass boss monster. And we're also going to equip it with the Soulpiercer, so if it is removed, at least we get a search. Princess, search for Onslaught. Double set and pass. Well, of course, we know what Amazonas does, so we're not going to swing into an Onslaught. We're just going to attack directly and ignore it. And from this point, he has no way of dealing with us, so he commits Honorable Seppuku. Alright, so that was it for today's replays. I hope you guys enjoyed them. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.